She laughed when I said, "That's cheating." Not a nervous laugh, not an awkward laugh. A full-on, confident laugh, like I just told the dumbest joke she'd heard all week. Before we dive in, if you like full Reddit-style relationship stories with betrayal, receipts, public consequences, and that moment when the truth hits like a freight train, do me a quick favor. Hit like, subscribe to Reddit Story Vault, and comment whose side you're on. We're pushing for our first 1,000 subscribers, and every like and sub helps YouTube actually test these videos. Alright, here's what happened. I'm 30M, my girlfriend. Well, ex now. Maya is 28F. We'd been together a little over 3 years and living together for 2. We weren't one of those couples that fought constantly. We had a good rhythm. Same grocery run on Sundays, same dumb shows after work, same who forgot to switch the laundry arguments that lasted 10 seconds and ended with one of us laughing. And that's why this messed me up for a while, because it didn't start with some obvious disaster. It started with something small enough that you can talk yourself into ignoring it. It started with her phone. Maya wasn't secretive before. She'd leave her phone on the kitchen counter, unlocked, while she took a shower. She'd toss it onto the couch and wander off to grab snacks. If she asked me to pull up directions while she drove, she'd hand it over without thinking. Then around early spring, her phone became a second skin. Face down always, on silent always. If it lit up, her hand would snap to it like she was catching a falling glass. If I walked into a room, she'd angle it away. If I sat next to her, she'd shift so I couldn't see. I tried not to be the paranoid boyfriend. I'm not proud of it, but I've seen enough stories online to know how this usually goes. Still, in real life, you want to believe you're not that couple. So I told myself it was stress. Maya worked in marketing for a local company. Events, partnerships, social media, all the stuff that comes with constantly being on. Busy season hit, she had a big campaign and she was constantly texting coworkers and clients. It made sense. Until the little slips started. One night we were making dinner, just pasta, nothing fancy. Maya's phone buzzed on the counter. She snatched it, glanced at the screen, and smiled. Not a polite smile, a real smile, the kind of smile you don't even realize you're doing. Then she realized I'd noticed, and her face shut down like someone flipped a switch. "What?" I asked. "Nothing," she said too quickly. That nothing didn't sit right. I wasn't trying to interrogate her, but I couldn't help it. "Who was it?" "Work," she said, already walking away with her phone like the conversation was over. I let it go, but my brain didn't. A few days later, she started dropping a name casually, Trevor. Not like my coworker Trevor, just Trevor, like I should know him, like he was part of our life. Trevor said the venue's confirmed. Trevor thinks we should switch the graphics. Trevor's going to be there tonight. "The venue?" I asked one time, genuinely confused. "What venue?" She blinked like I was behind. "For the client event, I told you." Maybe she did. Maybe I missed it. But the weird part was how quickly Trevor became a main character. Then came the first red flag I couldn't ignore. We were on the couch watching a show, and Maya was texting like her thumbs were on fire. I glanced over again. Not trying to spy, just normal peripheral vision, and I saw one message pop up in the notification banner before she swiped it away. "Miss your face with tears of joy." My stomach dropped. That's not a work message. That's not a client message. I didn't say anything right away. I sat there trying to calm down, trying not to jump to conclusions. Then I did what I thought was the healthy thing. I asked directly, but calmly. "Hey, who's Trevor to you?" She didn't even look up. "My coworker." "Like just coworker?" Maya sighed, finally looking at me like I was annoying her. "Yes, just coworker." "Okay," because I saw a message that didn't really sound like. She cut me off. Oh my God, are we doing this? Doing what? This jealous thing, she said, like it was a personality flaw I'd always had. You're reading into it. I'm not trying to read into anything, I said. It just didn't sound professional. Maya smirked. He's gay, Alex. That hit me like a curveball. Trevor is gay. Yes, she said confidently, very gay. The way she said it made it sound like a slam dunk, like the conversation was over, like I should feel stupid for even asking. And for a second I did. Because if he's gay, then the miss your face thing could be friendly. People talk like that, especially in marketing environments, especially in friend-coworker circles. So I swallowed the discomfort and said, okay. Maya nodded like she'd won. Thank you. But here's the thing. If your partner has a totally innocent explanation, they don't usually act smug about it. They don't usually make you feel small for asking. That smugness stayed in my head. Over the next couple weeks, her behavior didn't get better. It got worse, but in a way that was subtle enough to be deniable. She'd get dressed up for work drinks more often than usual. New lipstick, cute outfit, perfume. That's fine on its own, but she'd come home later than she said. Her stories would change slightly depending on when I asked. How was it? Fine. Who was there? Just the team. Which team? Like everyone. She used to tell me details. Now she gave me fog. Then the next red flag came from someone else. My buddy Chris, who's in our bigger friend group, texted me one Saturday. Yo, are you and Maya good? I replied, yeah, why? He took a minute then said, nothing, just checking. That's never nothing. I saw something and I'm trying to not be the messenger. So I called him. Chris hesitated then said, look, I might be overthinking, but she's been hanging with this guy from work at group stuff. Trevor. And she's kind of touchy, like hand on his arm, leaning in, that vibe. My heart started pounding. Trevor is gay. Chris paused. Is he? Maya said he is. Chris made a sound like he didn't want to argue, but I don't know, man. He didn't read gay to me. Not that it matters, it's just the vibe. I tried to laugh it off. Maybe he's just friendly. Yeah, Chris said, not convinced. Just watch it. When I hung up, I stared at my living room wall like it had answers. I didn't want to be the guy who overreacts, but I also didn't want to be the guy everyone feels sorry for later. So I decided, I'm going to talk to Maya again calmly and ask for a clear boundary. That night after dinner I said, can we talk about Trevor? Maya's eyes narrowed. Oh my God. I'm not accusing you, I said quickly. I just want to be honest. I'm uncomfortable with how constant the texting is and the way he talks to you. Maya laughed, a short, dismissive laugh. You're still on this? Yes, I said, because it hasn't stopped. She leaned back on the couch like she was settling in for entertainment. Okay, Alex, what do you think is happening? I took a breath. I think it's crossing a line. Maya tilted her head. Which line? The line where you're basically in a relationship with someone else, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. And that's when she laughed harder. Not because she was amused, because she was mocking me. She actually said, you are so dramatic. I felt my face get hot. I'm not being dramatic. Maya wiped at her eye like she'd laughed so hard she teared up. You seriously think texting is cheating? When it's constant, flirtatious, and hidden, yes, I said, I think it can be. Maya grinned like she'd been waiting for that exact sentence. And she said word for word, that's cheating. Oh my God, that is the most insecure thing you've ever said. I sat there in silence for a second, because I couldn't believe how comfortable she was humiliating me. Then she added casually like she was explaining something to a child. Adults can have friends. Adults can flirt. It doesn't mean anything. You need to grow up. Flirt. She just admitted it was flirting. I said, so you are flirting with him. Maya shrugged. Maybe it's fun, it's not like I'm sleeping with him. I stared at her. So your defense is, I haven't technically had sex yet. She rolled her eyes. Oh my God, here we go. Then she stood up and grabbed her phone off the coffee table and said, if you're going to start controlling me over texts, I'm going to Jen's. I'm not doing this. Jen is her best friend. The friend who always says, Maya deserves better whenever Maya complains about anything. Before she left, she turned at the door and hit me with this final line. You're not going to guilt me into being less friendly just because you're insecure. That's not love. Then she left. And I sat there in our apartment, our shared life, feeling like I'd just been scolded for having a normal human reaction. That night I didn't sleep. Not because I was raging, because I was thinking. Maya wasn't just flirting. She was testing how far she could push. And the way she mocked me told me she thought I'd never do anything about it. So I did something I'd never done in a relationship before. I looked for proof. Not by hacking, not by spying in the bathroom, not by doing anything illegal or insane. By remembering a simple fact, Maya and I shared devices. We had an old iPad we used for recipes, movies in bed, random browsing. Months earlier, Maya had asked me to log into her Apple ID on it so she could access some work files during a trip. She never logged out. We never thought about it again. It just sat in a drawer most of the time. After she left for Jen's, I pulled it out and turned it on. And the messages were there. Not all of them. Some were disappearing messages through a different app, but enough. Enough to make my hands go cold. There were threads with Trevor that were absolutely not gay coworker friendly. Trevor, you looked unreal tonight. Maya, stop face with tears of joy. Trevor, I'm serious. If he doesn't appreciate it, I will. Maya, he's just in his feelings lately. Trevor, tell him to chill. You're mine at happy hour. Maya, LOL, mine, relax. Trevor, make me. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Then I scrolled and found something that made my chest tight in a different way. Maya to Trevor, we have to be careful. If Alex sees anything, he'll freak. Trevor, he won't see. Maya, he's been watching my phone. Trevor, then stop bringing it around him. So not only was it flirting, she was actively planning how to hide it. I kept scrolling and there it was. Trevor, hotel after the event. Maya, I can't, he'll notice. Trevor, say you're staying with Jen. Maya, maybe. My stomach dropped so hard I literally had to sit on the floor. Then I found the moment that made me stop feeling confused and start feeling clear. Maya, he said texting like this is cheating. Trevor, LOL, he's pathetic. Maya, he's being so dramatic. Trevor, let him cry, you deserve fun. So while she was laughing in my face calling me insecure, she was also laughing about me behind my back. I sat there for a long time with that iPad in my lap, staring at messages that felt like someone else's life. Then I did the next smart thing. I took screenshots. Not one, not two, a clean set. The ones that showed the flirting, the hiding, the hotel talk, and the mocking. I emailed them to myself and saved them in 2 places. I wasn't thinking revenge yet. I was thinking survival. Because once you confront someone like Maya, the first thing they do is rewrite the story. And I knew exactly what her rewrite would be. Alex is controlling. Alex is jealous. Alex invaded my privacy. Alex is unstable. So I needed receipts. The next morning Maya came back like nothing happened. She walked in, tossed her keys in the bowl and said, "We need to set boundaries." I almost laughed, the audacity. She sat down and started talking like she was a therapist. "I'm not going to be policed," she said. If you can't handle me having friends, that's something you need to work on. I just looked at her. Are you done? She frowned. What? I said calmly. Are you done pretending this is about me being insecure? Her eyes narrowed. I don't know what you think you know. I nodded. Okay. That scared her a little, because calm is scary when someone expects you to spiral. Maya tried another angle. If you keep acting like this, you're going to push me away. I said, you're already gone. She scoffed. Oh my God, here we go with the drama. Then she smirked and said the line that flipped a switch in me. Do you want me to show you my messages? Would that make you feel better? The way she said it wasn't sincere. It was a dare. She assumed I'd say no, because it would make me look controlling. And she assumed if I said yes, she could show me a cleaned-up version. So I said, sure. Maya blinked, sure. Yeah, I said, show me. For the first time, she looked uncomfortable. She picked up her phone and I could see her brain working fast. What did I delete? What did I hide? What did I forget? Then she said, no, actually I'm not going to do that because I shouldn't have to prove myself to you. And there it was, the escape. So I said, okay, then we're done. She laughed again, that same mocking laugh. We're done over texts. I looked her in the eyes, over cheating. Maya's smile widened like she was loving this. Texting isn't cheating. It is when you're hiding it, planning hotel meetups, and letting another man talk to you like you're his, I said. Maya's face flickered just for a second. Then she recovered and laughed harder. You're insane, she said. You're actually insane. Then she grabbed her purse and said, I'm going to tell Jen you're losing it, because this is not normal. She left the apartment again, and this time she slammed the door. I sat there and realized she was about to do exactly what I predicted. She was going to pre-frame me as the crazy ex before I could tell anyone the truth. And here's where the group chat comes in. Our friend group had a big group chat. It wasn't just my friends or her friends. It was couples, coworkers turned friends, people we'd gone on trips with. Birthdays, weddings, game nights, the whole thing. About 12 of us. And Maya lived for that group. She was the center, the planner, the social glue. If the group turned on her, she'd lose more than me. She'd lose the stage. I didn't want to expose her for drama. I genuinely didn't. I wanted to handle this privately like an adult. But Maya was about to take it public anyway, just with a fake story where I was the villain. So I decided, if she wants it public, it will be public with the truth. I waited, because I knew she would move first. And she did. About an hour later, my phone buzzed. It was the group chat. Maya had sent a message. Hey guys, I don't usually do this, but I'm really upset. Alex is accusing me of cheating because I have a coworker friend and he's getting really controlling about my phone. I left to cool down because it felt unsafe emotionally. I'm okay, I'm with Jen. I just needed space. I stared at the message and felt my hands go numb. Felt unsafe emotionally. That phrase wasn't an accident. That phrase was a weapon. It primes everyone to see me as a threat. Then messages started rolling in. Chris, wait, what, you okay? Jen, she's safe. Alex is spiraling. Someone else, Alex, man, what's going on? Another, Maya, do you need anything? And there it was, the narrative forming in real time. My heart was pounding. My instinct was to type a long explanation, but long explanations look guilty. Guilty people over-explain. So I did what I promised myself I'd do. I dropped receipts. I typed one sentence. I wasn't going to do this publicly, but she brought it here. Here are the screenshots. Then I sent them. One by one, clean, clear, no edits, the flirting, the hotel suggestion, the he won't see, the he's pathetic, the let him cry. The chat went silent. You know that moment when you send something and the typing bubbles vanish, when the whole digital room goes quiet. That happened. For about 30 seconds, it was nothing but read receipts. Then the typing bubbles started again, multiple people at once. Chris, oh, Chris again, Maya WTF. Another friend, that's not okay. Someone's girlfriend. Maya, you literally called him pathetic. Jen, Alex, why are you snooping? And then, this one hit like a truck, Trevor himself joined the group chat. Because apparently Trevor was in it too. I had forgotten that. He'd been added months earlier when he started coming to group events. Everyone thought he was just a coworker friend, a harmless tag-along. Trevor typed, "This is out of context." Out of context. I almost laughed, as if hotel after the event has context that makes it innocent. Before I could even respond, Maya suddenly appeared in the chat again. "Are you serious?" she wrote. "You invaded my privacy and now you're humiliating me." And then, like she was reading a script, she wrote, "This proves exactly what I said. You're controlling." The group didn't buy it. Because here's the thing about screenshots. They cut through vibes. They cut through charm. They cut through whoever is louder. People started calling it what it was. One friend, "You can't call him controlling when you're literally hiding this." Another, "If my boyfriend did that, I'd call it cheating." Another, "Maya, you were planning to lie and say you were with Jen." Chris, "Also, why did you tell us he feels unsafe emotionally when you're the one doing shady stuff?" Jen tried to defend her. "He's cherry-picking." Then Chris replied something that ended that defense instantly. Cherry-picking, the let him cry part is pretty clear. Maya stopped responding for a minute. Then she did what people do when they're cornered. She went nuclear. She typed, "Fine, you want the truth. Alex has been emotionally distant for months. Trevor makes me feel seen. You all act like texting is murder. I didn't even do anything." And then, because karma loves timing, another person in the chat replied. It was Trevor's girlfriend. Yeah, Trevor had a girlfriend, and she was in the group too. Quiet most of the time, sweet, never dramatic. She typed, "Trevor, you told me she was just a coworker." The chat exploded. Trevor wrote, "Babe, please don't do this here." Maya wrote, "Wait, he has a girlfriend." That line made me stare at my phone like, are you kidding me? Maya didn't even know. She'd been flirting with a guy who was already in a relationship, and she didn't even have enough honesty with him to know his basic situation. That's how unserious and reckless it was. Trevor's girlfriend replied, "Maya, he's been dating me for 2 years." 2 years? And Maya's work friend plan suddenly looked less romantic and more pathetic. Trevor tried to backpedal. "It wasn't like that, it was jokes." His girlfriend replied, "Hotel jokes, you're mine at happy hour jokes." Then she added, "I'm done." And she left the chat. Trevor panicked. He started typing paragraphs. Maya started typing paragraphs. People started reacting with shock emojis and bro and WTF. And in the middle of it, Maya sent me a private text. Not in the group, to my phone. "Delete those screenshots, now." I didn't reply. Then she called. I didn't answer. Then she sent another text. "You're ruining my life." I stared at that line for a long time, because the lack of accountability was almost impressive. I didn't ruin your life. You built this. You just didn't expect consequences to have a group chat. Maya came home that night around midnight. I was sitting on the couch, calm, waiting, not because I wanted a fight, but because I wanted to look her in the eye while she tried to rewrite reality again. She walked in like a storm, eyes red, phone in her hand, breath shaky. "What is wrong with you?" she snapped. "Are you happy now?" I didn't raise my voice. I said, "Are you done laughing?" Her face twisted. "You're unbelievable." "Am I?" I asked. "You called me insecure. You called me dramatic. You laughed at me. And then you told our friends I was controlling and emotionally unsafe." Maya's mouth opened and closed like she was searching for the right spin. "I was upset," she said finally. "I didn't know how else to explain it." "You explained it with a lie," I said. "A damaging one." She threw her hands up. "Okay, fine, I shouldn't have said that, but you still invaded my privacy." I nodded slowly. "We share devices. You left your account logged in, and if you weren't hiding cheating behavior, there wouldn't have been anything to find." She scoffed. "It wasn't cheating." I stood up, walked to the kitchen, and grabbed the printed copies I'd made earlier. Yeah, I printed them because I didn't trust digital-only evidence, and set them on the counter. Maya stared at them like they were radioactive. I said, "Explain the hotel message." She blinked. That was he was joking. "Explain, he won't see. Stop bringing it around him." Maya's voice got smaller. "I didn't want you to overreact." "Explain, let him cry." She flinched. Then she said the line that told me everything I needed to know. "I was venting." "Venting. So I'm a joke to you, a vent." I looked at her and realized the relationship was already over. The group chat just made it visible. So I said calmly, "Pack a bag, you're staying with Jen." Maya's eyes widened. "What?" "You can have the bedroom tonight if you want," I said, "but you're not sleeping here like nothing happened." She laughed again, but this time it was shaky. "You can't kick me out." "I'm not locking you out," I said. "I'm telling you to leave. If you refuse, I'll leave. But one of us is not pretending this is normal." Maya's anger surged. "So that's it. 3 years and you throw it away over texts." I stared at her. "You threw it away when you chose attention over respect." She tried crying. She tried yelling. She tried blaming me. She tried bargaining. She said I didn't even meet him at a hotel. Then she said I was going to stop. Then she said you embarrassed me. Then she said you owe me loyalty. Loyalty. From the person who mocked me to another man. I stayed calm the whole time, and I think that scared her more than yelling would've. Because Maya wanted me emotional. She wanted me messy. She wanted me controlling. Calm ruins that narrative. She ended up leaving around 2 a.m. with a suitcase and her makeup bag, still insisting I was overreacting. And the next morning, the cleanup began. The group chat aftermath was brutal for her. People didn't dogpile her for fun, they just pulled away. The trust evaporated. Invitations stopped. Private chats went quiet. The same friends who'd hyped her up before suddenly didn't want the drama. And the wildest part. 2 women in the group messaged me privately within 48 hours saying, "She's done this before." Not the exact same thing, but patterns. Flirty, harmless messages. Calling guys work husbands. Making boyfriends feel crazy for having boundaries. Keeping the attention pipeline open. One of them literally wrote, "I'm sorry, I didn't want to be involved, but you deserve to know you weren't imagining things." Maya, meanwhile, kept trying to spin. She posted a vague Instagram story about choosing peace and escaping control. That was her favorite style. Make yourself the victim without telling details so people assume the worst about the other person. But the friend group had already seen details. Screenshots beat vibes. Over the next week, she tried to contact me through everything. Texts, "Can we talk?" Calls, "Please answer." Emails, "I'm sorry." Then angry, "You ruined me." Then begging again, "I miss you." I didn't respond. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I finally understood something. Maya didn't miss me. She missed the stability. She missed the apartment. She missed the reputation cushion of being in a good relationship. Trevor's situation blew up too. His girlfriend broke up with him. HR got involved because the whole thing spilled into workplace gossip. He went from confident to desperate real fast. And Maya, she tried to blame Trevor. She told people he led me on. Which is hilarious, because she was the one calling me insecure for noticing. About 2 weeks later, Maya showed up at my door. No text, no warning, just a knock. I opened it, and she was standing there with puffy eyes, and that fragile voice people use when they want you to forget the past. "Can we talk?" she asked. I stayed in the doorway. "You can talk, you can't come in." Maya swallowed. "I messed up." I didn't say anything. She took a breath. "I didn't think it was cheating, I swear. It was flirting, it was attention, it was stupid, but I didn't." I cut her off gently. "Maya, you were planning to lie about where you were. You were hiding it. You were mocking me, and you tried to make our friends think I was unsafe." Her eyes filled. I panicked. "No," I said, "you strategized." That word hit her. She flinched like I slapped her. "I don't know why I did it," she whispered. I nodded. "I do. You wanted the benefits of me and the thrill of him, and you didn't want consequences." Maya tried to step closer. "Please, I'll fix it." I shook my head. "You don't fix disrespect. You replace it with respect, and I can't trust you anymore." She started crying harder. "So you're just done?" I said, "You laughed when I said it was cheating. That was the moment I stopped seeing you as my partner." Maya wiped her face. "You didn't have to put it in the group chat." I sighed. "You put it in the group chat. You just didn't expect me to bring truth." She stared at me like she hated that answer, because it was clean and logical and she couldn't argue with it. Then she said something that made me feel strangely peaceful. "You're cold," she whispered. "You used to be softer." I nodded. "I used to trust you." And I closed the door. After that, I did the boring adult stuff. I changed passwords. I removed her from shared accounts. I updated the lease. I boxed up her remaining things and arranged a pickup time when I wouldn't be home. A month later, our friend group did something that felt like closure. They had a game night without Maya for the first time. It wasn't to punish her. It was just the group settling into a new normal. Chris pulled me aside at one point and said, "I'm sorry we didn't clock it earlier." I said, "I'm just glad I didn't marry her." He nodded slowly. "Same." That was it. No dramatic punchline. Just a quiet relief that I didn't ignore my gut long enough to make it permanent. And for anyone wondering, yes, I did feel weird about the group chat thing for a while. Because exposing someone publicly is messy, even if they deserve it, even if they started it. But here's the thing, Maya didn't just cheat emotionally. She tried to weaponize the group against me. She used language like unsafe to paint me as a threat. That's not small. That can ruin someone. So if you're going to ask whether I feel guilty, I don't. I feel grateful I had proof. Because without proof, I'd be the controlling boyfriend in everyone's mind, and Maya would be the brave girl choosing peace. Proof changed everything. Now I'm going to ask you, because I'm genuinely curious and I want to see what people think. Was I wrong for posting the screenshots in the group chat after she accused me publicly? At what point does flirting become cheating in your opinion? When it's hidden, when it's constant, when hotel plans show up, or even earlier? And if your partner laughed in your face when you said a boundary mattered, would you try to work it out, or would you end it right there? Drop your thoughts in the comments.